nurses and the administrator. You shouldn't have to have that decision-making worry and frustration. So that's what the state's going to ask. Did you take necessary measures to facilitate the reporting? And did the center identify the extent and the cause of the abuse and or neglect? Did you do enough incident and accident? Nurses sometimes write like a frustrated doctor. You sign all the INAs. Okay. Administrator and the DON are supposed to read, review, and sign all incident and accident. And some of you nurses, the way you write, when I look at the INAs, when we would come in the next morning, and we would do that at the morning stand-up. Let me see the INAs from the last 24 hours. I couldn't make it out. It wouldn't be legible. And so where were we? Just give me a city. Where were we with that DON kept saying, legible, legible? Georgetown. We were in last week we were in Georgetown down by Austin. It was another FTAC. But we were talking about documentation, and when I mentioned about nurses, make it legible. Most of the time, it's my nurse, it's my charge nurse who's doing the INA. It's not the CNA or the med aid, it's the charge nurse. When I mentioned legible, the DON was standing over there like that. She just jumped out in the front and said, legible, legible. I'm so tired of looking at these INAs, I can't tell who it was and who it didn't. So I'm telling you, make it legible. I'll also tell you, Dean and I are witnesses. I've been on the stand under oath. If you ever get sued, that attorney, through his discovery process, is going to ask for all of your INAs. It is discoverable. And they will project it just like this, charge nurses, because they'll call you as a witness. They'll get your name off of that, and they'll call you as a witness. And they'll say, Mrs. Smith, is it true on this day at 10:22 you went in that room and you did an assessment down and that's why you saw that way? Well, yeah, and then did you also see the the bruise and the discoloring? Yeah, how come you didn't chart it? Why would it not be on there? Well, it is, sir. That's what that scribbly line is on line 3. No, and I am not making this up. If you haven't had the pleasure yet of charge nurses, God forbid that you ever would, or administrator, but this is public, not public. This is legally discoverable information on those incident accidents. Okay. Did the center utilize the results of the investigation to support detection and prevention of efforts? That's what I was asking you about the Q&A. Once you see that and you know it's a pattern, it is up to you to get involved to make the administration and the charge nurses aware that this is how we're going to change. Okay, y'all hang with me. I'm circling the runway. Don't bail out of my plane. I got the landing gear down. We're coming in. Everybody with me? No parachutes. If you jump, you on your own. Hang with me now. This is required by the state. They just added this a few years ago. We now have to go over every one of these. And we're getting out of dodge. Well, some of us are. Incident review procedures. The facility will review specific incidents for lessons learned, forming a feedback loop, that's the QA thing, and necessary policy changes. Employee screening is what I was asking about your HR girl. You must screen your employees. Every year, and we do administrative tax too. It just blows my mind. Do you know, nurses, every year you're supposed to be screened by the HR lady. And because in a year's time, a lot of my CNAs have been smoking a little, and a lot of my nurses maybe did something wrong to their boyfriend or whatever, and things of that. The administrator come in and embezzle with me. These are all things that Dean and I see in Texas. So it's got to be screening. So I want to make sure that you're screening everybody. Once a year, you're supposed to be screening those people. And I'll tell you what else. Also on the charts at the nurses station, charge nurses, you're required, well, you're not required, but the administration is required, that, what's that sheet?
Face sheet.
Face sheet. That face sheet has to be updated every year. Now, if you're a charge nurse, you know why. Because you call family members, the phone's been disconnected. Or Billy Bob answered and said, well, it's wrong number. So you make sure you get them to update that face sheet that's what HR and social workers do. Every year that has got to be updated. And if it's a stickler survey that's coming in, they can nail you on that. And well, they should. Because when you need to call that family member because mama fell and broke her hip, you're not needing somebody else to answer the phone that doesn't live there anymore. Everybody got me? Okay. Employee screening. Also, the administrator, I just deviate for a moment. The administrator, DON, maintenance guy, everybody, at least once a year, they should be run through that DPS poll. Okay. Identifying, we went into one building, you know what they said? When I said, everybody, I gotta do it. I'm the administrator, the owner, we're gonna do it. Said, well, we didn't have the money to pay, because you know, you gotta pay a credit card or whatever. No, that's not much. Wrong answer. Tell the state, I didn't have the money, so I couldn't, get her screen. Identifying abuse. The facility develops and maintains a proactive approach to identify the events. That's what this is doing here, a proactive approach after you've been caught with your hand in the cookie jar. But no more hands in the cookie jars. You're understanding now about abuse and prevention. Training the facility during its orientation. And through ongoing training programs, provides all employees with information regarding abuse, including prevention, intervention, etc. Which is why I won't even look at anybody. Before you allow a staff member, CNA, nurse, maintenance, before you allow a dietary, before you allow them to go on the floor or work in the kitchen or clean a patient's room, they should go through some form of orientation, which addresses that right there. In my building, I make sure that everybody, if you're going to be on that payroll, I'm going to meet you face to face. I told my department heads, like when you do your stand-up, I told my department heads, you can hire whoever you want to. I'll hold you responsible for that department. But before you put them on the floor, I want to see them. Bring them to me. I want to say, hello, I'm you, Adam, da-da-da-da. I don't give you a cook, maintenance guy, charge nurse, weekend nurse. I want to know who's in my building taking care of my patients. You have to do these kind of things. I would encourage you, if you don't yet, to have an orientation program for all new employees before you put them on the floor. Just food for thought. Then I'll go back to number 5. Dean and I were in another building. You charge nurses, you are responsible if there's a fire or a disaster or something of that sort, primarily a fire. You know, we've been in those buildings where I'd go, give me a charge nurse. Raise your hand. Okay. Do you know how to activate the alarm and call that number at your smoke detector place?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
When the alarm goes off. Or
Yes. Yeah, because usually there's that little number card placed up there and it's taped, or when you open up the fire control panel, it'll be inside there. The nurses, not just RN, but the nurses that do not know how to do it, they just hope and pray, sweet Jesus, don't let it happen on my shift, because they don't know. But that maintenance guy, when he does his fire drill every month, right? When he does that fire drill, is he in here? Yeah.
That's the guy back there.
When you do that fire drill every month, that would be a great time. In fact, when you do orientation, that's a great time to take. We required our nurses, staff, period, we required them to spend time with that maintenance guy, because I wanted him to show them how to operate that fire control panel. These are the major exits. This is the biohazard room, all those kind of things. You follow me? It's important for them to know that.
And he does, he has the number posted inside that door. He's got it taped.
Excellent.
And he
Okay.
shows them.
All right. The facility protects individuals from abuse during the investigation of any allegation of abuse. The investigation ensures a timely, thorough, timely is crucial. Timely is crucial. That's a 1-800 number in Austin. Doesn't matter if it's 2 in the morning. If you call me, and they did, they would come, well, they couldn't get hold of my DON. And you call me, and I'm calling that 800 number. I'm going to at least let them know I'm self-reporting. Response is crucial. Response is crucial. The response to an allegation of abuse. The facility ensures that any incidents of substantiated abuse are reported and analyzed by the appropriate corrective, remedial, or disciplinary action occurs. So that means that while you're accused, allegedly, of committing this offense, what do we do with you? We suspend you for 3 days. Do you do it with pay? Yeah, we make a retro. Okay. Before we ever determine if Mrs. Smith is on Haldol or Thorazine or whatever, and she's just hallucinating, we have to suspend you if there is an allegation of abuse. Everybody with me in that? Okay. Now, key points to remember. Here it comes. Y'all just feel that thump? That thump was my landing gear coming down. Always report first. Does it say always?
Always.
Are y'all getting this point?
Yes.
Retention through repetition, over and over and over. Always report first. Report first. Investigate second. And for you journalism majors, this is the 5W. Remember, that's all you need to know, charge nurse. If you'll fill out your incident action report according to who, what, when, where, and why. Who, what, when, where, and why. Right here. Analyze your results, QA that we talked about, and review the recurring. And summary. protect the resident, remove them from that situation, report to the supervisor, and who's the abuse prevention coordinator? The administrator. Know who your abuse coordinator is, notify the EMD and the family. This is all what you charge nurses, it's on you. Monitor the patient, the care plans, use the day as reporting tree that we talked about. Y'all just got a 6-hour presentation and an hour, ever how long it took. Are we good?
Gonna do our post test.
Now we do the post test. Any questions before we go? Thank y'all for being very attentive and listening. When we get through here, housekeeping, laundry, and who else? Only direct care needs to stay. But now you folks have got to go over, get ready for what? C deal. Okay, everybody do a circle pose on your chest, pose test. All right, Dina. And the sign-in sheet, where's the sign-in sheet?